Network, and of course, everyone's heard the arguments. But there's a side argument to all of this, and that is Washington, D.C. was getting ready to debate a silencer bill. They have since put that off because of what happened in Las Vegas. And an article that is getting a lot of attention out of the Washington Post puts a Missouri company based in Farmington, Missouri, in the middle of this controversy. Asymmetric Solutions is a firearm training firm based here in St. Louis, and their director of development, Tom Satterley, joins us. Good morning, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good. I know you have a busy morning. I want to thank you for leaving your training session to give us a couple of minutes because I just want to get the facts out about this. People can argue all they want about their opinions, but we should at least come to it with the facts. And so your article or your comments in the Washington Post piqued my interest this morning because when you hear the word silencer, you think of a James Bond movie, but you're saying that's not accurate.
Correct. The terms silencer and suppressor are interchangeable, and silencer basically being the more well-known term.
So what is it they're talking about when it comes to this?
Basically, at the end of your weapons, you can stick on a suppressor, which in itself really only is designed to hide the position of the shooter at night. It also helps the shooter that might be firing under night vision devices to lower the flash from the weapon so it doesn't blind out his night vision. It in no way silences the weapon to any extent that nobody would really hear it versus maybe one or two shots of a specific silencer and only up close, and then again only for maybe one or two shots.
Yeah. So you're saying if this gunman in Vegas had whatever it is they're going to debate in Washington, D.C., that wouldn't have changed anything about this shooting?
Absolutely would not have changed anything. If he even would have had 1 to 2 shots off silently, the rest of them after that would have been just as loud of a report, plus the ammunition that he would have used. He probably used regular ammunition versus subsonic ammunition, which is designed to fly slower so the round doesn't break the sound barrier, which creates its own noise, which is actually louder than the weapon going off to the person that's actually downrange being shot at.
So the people who were saying that if this guy would have had a silencer on his gun, it would have been worse because you wouldn't have known where the bullets are coming from. That's a factually inaccurate statement.
In my opinion, that is factually inaccurate. The people would have heard the crack of the round flying through the air as it flew by them. People would have dropped. They would have still heard the noise, and people taking off running is all the same.
Yeah.
The silencer would have made zero difference.
But you're saying the rat-a-tat-tat-tat of the video and the audio we're hearing, it wouldn't have stopped that?
No. I actually listened to several videos, and you could tell a lot of my friends around listening to the video the same thing. We all talked about it. That is the crack of the round flying by the people, and you can tell when it's closer and closer. And we like to say it's basically the one you don't hear that gets you.
Right. But so you're saying the microphone is picking up the bullet traveling past you, not the sound of the gun from the hotel room at the 32nd floor.
Correct. And it probably did pick up some of the sound of the weapon firing, but determining where that location would be impossible as well with the echoes of all the buildings that were surrounding them. That's the difficulty in an urban environment that you learn in the military doing military operations in an urban environment, is that it is so difficult to tell where anybody is shooting from in that urban environment with the echoes off of all the buildings. It's nearly impossible to determine where it's being shot from.
So, Tom, why does somebody need a silencer or a suppression only to make it easier to use night vision goggles? Is that something that should be sold to civilians?
In my opinion, I wouldn't even want to get into that debate about whether civilians are allowed to have it. The suppressor on the weapons, one, a lot of different places actually require you to have a suppressor, and the other countries require just to keep the sound down because of the noise pollution. Like I said, it's designed to help the shooter lower his signature from his position at night. In the day, it's not really that big of a deal. And it really, like I said, it kind of only masks your position for a short amount of time.
Right.
It just still makes it more difficult to locate the position of the shooter. In the case in Las Vegas, you looked up 34 floors, you saw 2 windows blown out. that obviously makes it easy to identify where it might be coming from.
You're saying European countries want gun owners to have this?
No, I know that several countries actually have them use them on ranges to keep the noise signature down.
Got it. But in this country, it's currently illegal to sell them.
I'm unaware if it's illegal to sell them or not. Whether civilians need them or not, that's not up to me to decide. That's up to a vote,
right,
and a debate. But whether it would have helped the shooter in Vegas, that's not even a not even a question. It would have not helped him, and it didn't make it any worse if he would have had one. That's for sure.
It sounds to me like what you're saying, and clearly you're an expert on this. This is what you do for a living. This is what your company does. You're in the military. You were with special forces. You know more about guns than anybody here. So there's no greater expert on this. It sounds to me like it's not a very good product. If it really, it sounds like it's more of a gimmick than anything else, because the silencer in the movies, those really don't exist.
They don't. The James Bond movies, the movies where guys are shooting and killing and you can't hear anything, that is such a misnomer. It is completely a Hollywood thing that makes it look cool.
Tom Slattery with Asymmetrical. What's the official title of the company? I got it here. Asymmetrical Solutions.
Solutions. Yes,
Asymmetrical Solutions. Tom, I'll let you get back to your seminar. Thank you for checking in.
All right. Thank you very much.
You got it. Tom Slattery, Director of Development for Asymmetrical Solutions. Firearm training here based in Missouri. There's a Washington Post article that has gotten a lot of attention. And if I heard once yesterday, I heard 50 times. Wait a minute. They want to now allow you to sell silencers? So could you imagine being in Las Vegas with a silencer? You wouldn't know where the bullets were coming from. That's a factually incorrect statement.